I just left the GMC store not even 30 minutes ago because I just bought this AT4X and we're putting it up against the ZR2. I am so excited to do this video because I always thought that these trucks were similar, but they're not. And I'm talking about the paint and a few other things. So this is the Slate Gray, which is that new color, and then this is a Thunderstorm for the GMC. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I got some great content coming. As I said, I just bought this AT4X and we're gonna do some off-road stuff with it. I'm not gonna keep it on the pavement. We're gonna have some fun. Obviously, you know, I'm gonna tow with it. And let's go ahead and discuss some of the pricing on these trucks. That way you guys have an idea of some of the price points for these off-road pickups. The ZR2 is gonna be the cheaper truck here, and it does have a starting price of $70,600. Here are all the options that were added to this truck, and then destination and total price is $87,100. Now, if you would want the fifth wheel prep package, this would be the total price including that. So not much more money to have that. As far as the AT4X, starting price is $82,800. Total price is $95,720. So if you consider fifth wheel prep package on the ZR2, the price difference is $8,075. So yeah, the ZR2 will save you a few more bucks compared to the GMC, but it does not mean it's a lesser truck. And if I'm being completely honest, I think that the ZR2 wears this appearance package the best. It looks more aggressive, and a lot of it has to do with the headlights. When I put it up against the Ford, I didn't want to say it in the video, but the Ford did not look nearly as nice compared to the Chevy. It's not a knock on Ford, it's just unfortunate, it's a fact. The Ford trimmer does have a lot more features compared to the Chevy, but when you really consider the overall appearance, I would choose this truck every time. Now, full LED headlights, fog lights. Love this big grille. You have some red around the Chevy bow tie, forward-facing camera. The black bumpers make the color too. Now, the red tow hooks are not my favorite. I'm not a huge fan of really color on the tow hooks, so I prefer black. I think that's fine. And yeah, to each his own, but that's the only thing I don't really care about the off-road trucks from Chevy and GMC is they like to do red tow hooks. But fog lights are down below. And notice down here, they don't change the lower part of the bumper, which is this valance here, on the Chevy side of the house. Now, as far as the GMC goes, you do see some things they took from the half-ton AT4X, like this bronze color, and they also have it down below. They're doing the same black bumpers on both sides of the house, full LED headlights. Now, I didn't point this out. Check out the hood scoop on the Chevy. And this is the hood scoop on the GMC. I do like the overall styling on the hood better compared to the Chevy. Chevy's a little bit more plainer, and I like how aggressive this one looks. Forward-facing camera right here. GMC does have better fog lights down below compared to the Chevy. I owned one of these trucks. I actually own two of them, and the fog lights are okay. These have more of a wide angle. Something I didn't notice when I did the review for the ZR2 on the last video I did. This truck does not have parking sensors on this side, but on the GMC it does. Not sure if it's available, a part of a package, but yeah, this truck does not have front parking sensors. Now, something else I pointed out, the valance down below. If you look at the GMC, they did remove that trim piece, so it's a lot more smoother on the GMC, and it's pretty much going to give you more ground clearance, I would say. They both have the skid plate right here. It is finished in aluminum, and it goes pretty far back. Also, on the Chevy side of the house, same skid plate there, finished in aluminum. Now, as far as the front ends go, I do like the Chevy better. I gotta admit, even though I like the hood better on the GMC, Chevy's front end just looks so mean, and it rocks these big 35s really well. Let's talk about the wheels. So the wheels on this truck are blacked out. They have a ZR2 badge right there. And they're both rocking the same tires. They are the Goodyear Wrangler Territory MTs. 305 70 18 is the tire size. Very aggressive tire, and I can't wait to go over some of the driving impressions with these. And if you can't see from this point of view, you do have some blue and gold back there. That is the Multimatic DSSV. Both trucks have it, and it's basically dynamic suspension spool valve. Let's go ahead and check out the wheels on the AT4X. It's kind of in the shade, but yeah, here are the wheels. They went with the black with a machine face. I wish they would have just kept it simple, went with a black wheel. I think that most people would have been okay with that. And yeah, nothing wrong with these wheels, but Chevy's is definitely a little bit better in my opinion. But as far as the suspension goes, like I said, nothing's going to change there. And let's go ahead and look at the fender flares on the GMC, and I'll show you guys a comparison. So when you get the AT4X, they do kind of make these bulge out a little bit more, and they restyle them a little bit. Also, right here, they remove the mud flap. So I'm assuming if you would like to go with the bigger fender flares from the AT4X, you probably can make them work on like a regular AT4 if you like. On this side of the house, you can see that they kind of bulge out just a little bit more compared to the regular Chevy Silverados. And as I said earlier, they restyled this trim piece, so it's not really a mud flap anymore, so it sits a little bit higher. Nothing really changes on the mirrors, but both trucks were equipped with the optional Duramax. It says 2500 HD, AT4X HD right there. Nothing changes on the mirrors. They both have black trim pieces around them. And as far as the AT4X goes, you do have more bright colors around the mirror, so all this is all blacked out. Has a really nice appearance. Like even right here, let's take a look at it on the Chevy. So it's pretty much just a black plastic versus that gloss look, and even the trim pieces around the window are more matted. Black door handles do go well with the slate gray. You do not have the black on the GMC side. It's just color matched. Power deployable running boards are an option for the Chevy. And then check out the back here. You can see again, they do restyle these, like, I guess, mud flaps, front and rear. Tail lights are going to be a mixture of LED, and I think there's just one incandescent bulb for the reverse light. Black bumper with the parking sensors. Class 5 receiving hitch. You have the camera inputs and a 7-pin right here. Also, you can do dark essentials, I believe, on the Chevy side, so I think that would complete the back end of this truck. You do have a power tailgate, and this is why I always skip that multi-pro tailgate for them, multi-flex for Chevy, because you can put it back up, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, you have the lights, spray in, they stamp ZR2 on the front of the bed. There's 2 cameras up there. Let's go ahead and flex a little bit on the GMC. Can't do that with that multi-pro, but don't get it twisted. This tailgate does have some nice perks. So if you're a little bit older, or if you're female, oop, you have to hit them together. This does act as a step, and it does sit slightly lower than the rear steps on the back of the bumper. So in my opinion, this might work better for some. Also, Kicker sound system does come standard, and this one did have the lights added in, so you can plug in your USB, you can do Bluetooth audio, things like that. This truck was equipped with the 5th wheel prep package. I thought that this package was standard for the AT4X, but it's not. Still, you have the bed lights, cameras above the bed, and 5th wheel prep package. Also, you can see that AT4X stamped in the front of the bed there. But if you want to put the tailgate back up, having this multi-pro is pretty heavy. Full LED taillights. They have this black accent too, which is for the AT4 and the X only. They don't use it for the Denali Ultimate, which is surprising. And same thing on this side, no blackout for the badges. If you're looking at a AT4X or ZR2, they both have the option to have the Duramax. The 6.6 liter gas engine known as the LAT comes standard. That engine has 401 horsepower, 464 pound-feet of torque, made it to the 10-speed stamp of approved Allison. This Duramax is going to have 470 horsepower, 975 pound-feet of torque, made it to the 10-speed transmission, Denso fuel pump, Denso injectors. Let's go ahead and check out this paint because I did pull up the GMC. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the paint on the AT4X does look different. Like this looks like a more darker gray maybe, and this one looks more like lighter. Can you guys tell, or am I just colorblind? I don't know, maybe I'm just colorblind, but it's definitely darker on the ZR2. Now there is no metallic in this color, and it is a gloss too, so it's not like a matte color as you would expect on these types of paint palettes. But they say that the Chevy is a metallic, and I think I can kind of see some of the flake in the paint. Hopefully you guys can see it too. There's like a little bit of flake in this paint. But these are definitely the best colors for these off-road pickups in my opinion. And the blackout, like I've said in the past, it just goes really well. I've never had any other color outside of black, white, and that's really it. This is my first time having like a different kind of color too, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and talk about the interiors. I'll show you guys the payload and I'll pretty much end the video. This is where I think the AT4X wins. They give you a pretty luxurious interior. This is basically a Denali Ultimate if you're really wanting to think about the price point. And you can get it for under $95,000. Actually, you can get it for under 90 grand because you can get the gas engine. You cannot get the gas engine on the Denali Ultimate. But yeah, the red stitching here, the white stitching with the piping, the graphics are really nice. Also, they do wrap this area in leather all the way down here. This truck does have massaging front seats for both sides, and you can increase the bolstering on the sides of the seats. So you have 16-way seats, also 12-speaker Bose sound. Let's go ahead and check out the door for the ZR2. As far as the Chevy goes, you still have soft touch up top here, and you have like this graphic. The trim pieces have like a more off-road design to them. There's still some black chrome around this interior, but the gray stone is probably going to be a challenge for some people. I like a truck that has a true off-road design, and that's kind of why I like the ZR2 better. And even though you don't have that 16-way seat, they do increase the bolstering on the sides of the seat for the ZR2. So although you can't adjust it like that AT4X, you still have nicer bolstering on these seats compared to other Chevy Silverados. 10-way seat. Now this does have a 9-speaker Bose. I do like how they gave it a black appearance for the speaker grill. Looks really great. And lime stitching. And when you step in, both trucks do have grab handles. This one's finished in plastic. And when you look at the interior, I love how they give you the black bow tie, 12.3-inch screen, and this does have the 13.4, and they're going to have the same on both sides. They both have heads-up display. You can see some of that gray stone and lime stitching right there. Let's go ahead and check out the dash on the AT4X. So hopefully you guys can see the difference there. This is known as the premium interior. The Chevy does not have this interior available. So a lot of people don't like this because the shift column does kind of block some of the screen. But the buttons and the overall layout is totally different on these trucks. So you can see right here, the storage area is just a little bit smaller. You have these pockets here and there. USBs are right there, cup holders, and they do have the trailer brake right there. Let's go ahead and start it up. I haven't even set up my screen yet. So I drove here. Truck only has 23 miles on it right now. You guys can see the dash up top. You have some of that stitching and piping, which is finished in that white too. And great attention to detail for the dash. Also, I didn't mention this yet, but this truck does have a suede roof, and they do wrap the grab handles in leather. And like I said, this truck just has a little bit more luxury compared to that ZR2. That ZR2 is more off-road oriented, and I think that overall the AT4X has a really nice overall appearance. Center console for the ZR2, you can see some of that lime stitching, gray stone and black. Looks great. And you can really see the difference in the center console. So you have a lot more storage right there compared to that AT4X. They do put the trailer brake and the engine stop start button in a different spot too. These buttons are actually above these buttons in the AT4X. And by the way, before I forget, you have that new button which they had on the half tons, which you can drop all 4 windows down together. You have a locker out back and downhill assist. This truck does have storage up top too. You don't have that in the AT4X. And even on the side here, some of that nice treatment to the interior. And let's go ahead and look at the dash on the AT4X on this side. So they do finish this in like a leather or this soft touch. And I do like the material that they put inside of here too. It could be like close to like a velvet material, like a really cheap velvet material, nothing nice. But yeah, this truck definitely does have a nice appearance to it. Even right here, you guys can see this is all wrapped in like a leather with white stitching right there. And out back, the seats do have that red and white storage out back. It's gonna be pretty much the exact same on both sides. You can see that suede roof a little bit better. And just check out the orientation of the seats too. These are totally different from what you're going to see on that ZR2. They do wrap this in leather too. Outboard heated seats, USBs, air vents, cup holders, more cup holders. Let's check out the ZR2. Hopefully you guys can see it a little bit better. But yeah, you have a really nice appearance. Both trucks have the storage below. Mine has a bunch of stuff in there, but you guys see the difference in the seats. The seats are totally different for both trucks. Seat back pockets right there. And I didn't show this to you. There is a speaker right here on the back doors for the AT4X. Let me show it to you really quickly. So yeah, they don't give you that leather out back in the door card, and on the Chevy they don't add that for the front. So yeah, this is just a little bit more luxurious interior. And here's one last look at the ZR2. This is where I think the ZR2 is going to always be a better buy for some people. These numbers are going to be the same down below. So 5,600 pound gross axle weight rating up front, rear 6,600 pounds, 11,350 pound GVWR, 18x9 wheels. Also, this truck has a 3,050 pound payload capacity. So here's where I think GMC really messed up. Gross vehicle weight rating. For 2024, they did add a max trailering package. That would have been able to increase this number to 11,750, which would have given this truck 400 pounds more of capacity. Now, granted, you would have had a more beefed up suspension, rear end, and frame, but you would still have a higher payload. So this truck is at 2,855 pounds. So that's what? That's about a couple hundred pounds, yeah. So this truck weighs 8,495 pounds compared to 8,300 pounds on the ZR2. So yeah, they should have at least increased that number by 150 pounds to offset, you know, some of the interior things like that. But I hope you guys liked the video. Special shout out again to Jerry Seiner, Buick GMC in South Jordan, Utah, and Jerry Seiner Chevrolet here in Salt Lake City. These trucks are both sold because I just bought this one, obviously. So if you would like to buy a truck, I know they have a couple coming in for the Chevy side of the house, and there may be a black one available at Jerry Seiner Buick GMC. See you guys soon.